So, I've got a background in TV and radio presentation. I've hosted thousands of radio and TV shows and podcasts as well. I've got a little bit of knowledge about how to get a better broadcast, podcast and voiceover voice, and I'm bringing those tips to you on this series of short daily episodes. Hello, I'm Peter Stewart. At the moment, we're talking about voiceover dubbing multiple skills. Tomorrow, e-learning is our subject. Now, you don't need to be able to understand the original language if you're doing some dubbing for a film or TV program, for example. In fact, knowing it may be a distraction because you'll be able to understand what you're replacing, which can be really difficult. Now, the work is invariably done in a studio, as you'll have to speak to time. So, in other words, not your home studio, but a professional studio. You'll be speaking to time. You'll perhaps be looking at the lip syncing going on. You'll have some time codes. You'll be able to work out maybe different changes in looks or expressions and that kind of thing, which will help you with your own expressions and making your voice sound different, because the different, if someone is sounding angry or sounding confused or something, you can put that kind of expression, that kind of tone into your voice as well. So you'll be speaking to time, you'll be looking at maybe not the specific lip syncs, but also for the looser dubbing skills. Getting a duration correct for a scene is really important as well. So you want to be able to start and finish a phrase or a sentence or a soliloquy or whatever it happens to be at the same time as they do on screen. So it can be quite complex. Reading the script, watching the screen for the lip sync, maybe it is quite loose, as I discussed yesterday, listening for the rhythm of the piece, the breaths, the sighs, spot effects such as a door slamming or a gunshot, maybe in a film situation. Yeah, you need to make sure that they are still clear, maybe in between the different lines of dialogue, playing off other voice dub actors who've also got to hit their mark and start on time, keeping an eye on the timings, acting the part with appropriate emotions, for example, panting after a running scene, shouting in an on-screen row, that kind of situation as well. And also, don't forget that if you're doing the dubbing, some languages are much longer to express the same sense than English. For example, the German language, those words, that dialogue replacement is going to be much longer than a single word or short phrase in English. So you've got to allow, particularly if you're a director or a script kind of writer for this, you've got to allow much more time if it's going to be dubbed into other, perhaps potentially more complicated, longer languages. Yes, you've got to bear that in mind as well for the timings. Few ideas about voiceover dubbing multi-skills over the last couple of 3 days. Tomorrow, e-learning narration is our topic as Get a Better Broadcast, Podcast and Voiceover Voice continues. From London, I'm Peter Stewart.